The following is a presentation of the Mat Talk Podcast Network.
The mind of Pat Popolizio is a wondrous thing. And for you Pack wrestling fans, you'll get to go inside the mind of the Skip each and every episode here on the Pack Mentality Pop-Ins podcast. Now, here's your host, NC State Director of Athletics Digital Communications, Ryan Reinhardt.
Wolfpack wrestling fans, your last chance to see NC State in home action in Reynolds Coliseum is this weekend as the Wolfpack closes out the home schedule on Sunday against ACC foe number 16 Pitt. We dive into that matchup and talk about our seniors in this brand new episode of the Pack Mentality Pop-Ins podcast. Thanks again to downloading and subscribing to the only podcast from NC State Athletics. I'm your host, NC State Director of Athletics Digital Communications, Brian Reinhardt, and back to answer these hard-hitting questions is the head coach of the Wolfpack, Pat Popolizio.
Good afternoon, Brian.
Pat, I was expecting more, but okay.
That's why I did that.
Hello.
Hello. I was going to talk about this beautiful day. I'm just glad we were able to get you in to do this podcast and didn't find you outside somewhere.
I was going to say, you're really bringing in the listeners by saying hi, and that's it.
So,
yeah.
Well, it's your personality, actually.
In that great open I came up with, I mentioned it's the last home duel of the season this Sunday. Pat, sure seems to me the season has really wrapped up kind of quickly here.
It's been moving fast, no doubt about that. 3 big duels left of the season and 1 coming up on Sunday, so let's slow it down a little bit.
Come out and support the Pack for Senior Day this Sunday as we host Pitt. We're asking all of our fans to wear red and Pack Reynolds Coliseum. So purchase your tickets now at gopack.com/buy tickets. And of course, you can come to Reynolds on Sunday and buy them at the box office. But before we look ahead to that matchup against the Panthers, we have to look back at the last week of action. Number 8, NC State went on the road and came away with a 23-17 win at number 23, Virginia, last weekend. And after dropping that first bout, NC State won 4 straight and 6 of the next 7 overall to take that commanding lead. Pat, the lineup is finally starting to get back to full health almost. What were your takeaways from the win at Virginia?
Yeah, great duel over there. I think it was good atmosphere. It got loud. They got a great fan base, so they packed it in. And I thought we wrestled pretty well, and both teams obviously showed up and competed hard, and we were fortunate enough to get that extra win that we needed in that dual meet and move our lineup around a little bit to kind of make things work. But, yeah, pleased with the majority of our matches, a couple mistakes that we'll continue to learn from, but a lot of positives to take away from that duel.
And congratulations to you. Great graphic. Someone pumped out, but you picked up your 100th win here at NC State. It's been a building process, and there was a lot of people that got the program to this point.
No doubt about it. It is, when you think about it, how many people that have been a part of this journey over the last 7 years. It's been pretty impressive and very thankful for all that. But yeah, 100 wins here at NC State. I think you put that out there. Not career though, because we can't forget about Binghamton.
I never did. I told you.
I feel like you don't ever want to bring that up. It's kind of like
Nick says the same thing about.
Yeah. What's up with that?
Anyway, I texted you the next day. I said, "Don't get a big head. You're only 276 from Guzzo."
Wow, that's a yikes.
Yeah, you're going to be here for quite a while if you want to break that record.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
But NC State improved to 14-2 on the season, starts 2-0 in ACC action, and the Pack has won 7 straight conference duels and 7 of the last 8 ACC road duels. Pat, your guys really like to wrestle in Reynolds, but I always get the sense some of them enjoy a hostile road atmosphere. You guys were tested at UVA, tight quarters, small gym, but loud crowd. Definitely a good road atmosphere for you guys to compete in.
Yeah, we needed that. Got a little loud in there. You can feel the intensity a lot of times in some of these duels, tight situations, and you want to see how your guys respond because at the end of the day, you get in the quarterfinals, semifinals, NCAA tournament, it's going to get loud or, someone's cheering for a mat to the left of you, and all of a sudden, you find yourself in a barn burner match, and you got to keep your composure and wrestle. So all these matches help prepare for that, and no better place to go than on the road in the ACC. We still have 2 more on the road. Yeah, 2 more road trips that'll prepare us even more for when it matters most.
And we need to dive into the rule book real fast. One call that's come at the last two duels, I wanted to get you to explain to our fans. Now, for anybody that's come to Reynolds, you often hear both coaching staffs screaming at the top of their lungs, danger. It's actually not about a potentially dangerous move, but a new NCAA rule this year. Pat, can you explain what the danger swipes are, how the ref is supposed to start the swipes, and how they result in points?
Yeah, so I think it went just a couple years ago. It was to eliminate the scrambling and keeping the action of wrestling, keep moving through the situations. So what you're seeing now is when the guy's shoulders kind of fall into position where their ref can make a 3 count and he's yelling danger. So once the guy exposes his shoulders off a scramble or a takedown, if we get in a position where a guy's coming out through the back door and he's got a guy elevated and all of a sudden you see a ref calling danger, that guy has a choice to make to kind of straighten back up or bail out and give up the takedown. And, it's taken some time for guys to figure it out, but I think for the most part, guys understand where they're at. And, a lot of times you'll see refs, you'll forget about it. They get in a scramble and both guys might be giving up position. And I think sometimes refs forget to start that count. And I think that's probably why you're yelling it a little bit. That and you just want to win.
Do you enjoy yelling danger or stall?
Well,
you yell both.
Yell both. The only time I yell stalling is when a ref called, like this past weekend, he started real early in the dual meet, which I liked, but you got to stay consistent and call it. If you're going to set the tone with the stall calls, we just got to stay with that. And that's all I was wanted out of that. Nothing more. I think you understood that one.
Well, I was going to say, you didn't let up on the officials at UVA. I mean, you got warned for questioning them. How dare you?
Yeah, right.
You're
allowed 2 free ones.
You were on them.
Use them.
You claimed that the clock and the horn were not synced up.
Was I right or wrong on that?
You were correct.
Because it almost cost us a little bit in one of those matches.
I mean, there were some tense moments in that duel. These ACC duels, they're really fun, but they're also really intense.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think it's because it's in conference and, you see these guys every year. So, it goes in cycles a little bit. You get a couple good years on them and, we had to build back up to get in position where we're at. So it gets heated. No one likes to lose at the end of the day. So that's what everybody's fighting for, is to make sure that they can continue to win and put themselves in position. Whether it's this year, the next year, whatever, it's competitive and nothing but respect for all those coaches that are in it. But at the end of the day, I think that's what's making our conference better, is these guys are ultra competitive.
And that was just a great segue where I stood up there talking about the tough ACC matchups. The Wolfpack's going to be in Reynolds Coliseum for the final time this season as NC State will host number 16 Pitt this Sunday at 1. One awesome stat I found in my research: NC State enters this final weekend of home action a perfect 9-0 in home duels this year. On Sunday, your squad's going to be vying to complete the first undefeated home season since 1991-92. Now, you made it clear you don't look at the rankings, but that would be a great accomplishment for the squad to do something that has not been done at NC State in 27 years.
That is pretty good. I'm glad you found that. Leave it up to you to kind of dig and get these kind of numbers. So, yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it comes back to wanting to win and not lose. And if we can do that at home, that's great. And it would obviously carry momentum into the last 2 duels this season. So we got to show up and be ready to wrestle, because we're going to see a good team this weekend.
I was going to say, the Pitt team, very different from last year's squad. 3 of their top 4 ranked guys are all new to the lineup. Head coach Keith Gavin's in his second year up there, and he's really putting a stamp on the program with the influx of new talent for this season.
Yeah, he's done a great job. And being in Pennsylvania, you're always going to have a solid team and a performance from Pittsburgh. So we're ready. We got to be ready. Guys know it, and we know that they're going to show up and wrestle hard. And that's the challenge we want. We want to come here and compete.
And a couple of matchups we should highlight, both a battle of ranked opponents. At 157, number 4, Hayden Hiley will face number 11, Talib Romani. The two have a long history dating back to before they were both even in college. Hayden won all 3 matchups last year, but it was OT at the ACCs and a very close battle at the NCAAs. 2 different styles. Romani brings a lot of funk to that mat. This is going to be a good matchup.
Absolutely. I think it's a contrast in styles, and that's what always makes for a fun match. And these guys are very familiar with each other. Hayden knows what he needs to do to win, and I'm sure they have a good game plan to put themselves in position to try and win this match. So it's one that we're ready. We know what we got to do, and we're going to go out and compete as hard as we possibly can. And, that's one I want to see the adjustments we've made and see what we got to continue to do to be ready for the end of the year.
Up at 184, we saw number 3, Nick Reenan, return the lineup at Virginia and score a first period pin. I think you take credit for that headlock every time he nails it.
Yeah, I teach him that lefty headlock.
Okay. But the first of 3 straight top 15 foes for Nick to end his ACC season will be redshirt freshman number 13, Nino Bonacorsi. From my perspective, another clash of styles is how the two get into their offense. What do you see from this matchup?
Yeah, this will be a fun match as well. I think both guys put up points and wrestle very exciting styles. So we're ready for this one, and I'm glad to have Nick back. We had him in here training for a couple weeks before we threw him out there against UVA, so we know he's ready to wrestle a hard 7 minutes, and that's most important to me because I know his style of wrestling. He can score points all day long. So this should be a fun one because both guys go after it. They're aggressive, and I like where we're at, and I like what this matchup brings to the table, and this should be a good one. And I think the kid is hot. He's had some big wins this year, and so have we. So that makes for a good matchup. Nick
was out for 3 or 4 weeks. The weight cut didn't affect him at UVA?
I don't think so at all. Plus, I think he was eating probably 4 meals. He eats more than me, I can tell you that. So
he says he's trying to bulk up for heavyweight.
Yeah.
You're listening to episode 40 of the Pack Mentality Pop-Ins podcast here on the Matt Talk Podcast Network. I'm Jason Bryant, the host of this particular network, jumping in on Brian and the Skip's interview to tell you a little bit about a deal we've got for you Wolfpack wrestling fans. It is something I've put together for the past 5 or 6 years. It is the Division I digital preview guide. This thing, we call it The Guide. It is like 200 pages of absolute knowledge, information, stats, facts, statistics, you name it, it is in the guide. Go to WrestlingPreviewGuide.com and enter the promo code PACK, and you will save $5 off this digitally delivered product. So it's pretty much set to go for your iPad, your tablet, your smartphone. You sit there, you pull it up. When it goes on sale, it's a pre-sale now. It'll be available March 13th. So you get it, you download it, you'll sit there and you'll be right there flipping through for whether it be your fantasy contest, whether it be your pick'em brackets, or you're just sitting there in the stands, or you're watching from home, thumbing through, whether it be on your computer, your phone, your tablet, iPad, whatever. You flip through and be like, oh, I wonder how many times Hayden Hidley's wrestled this guy this year. Boom, boom, boom. You flip right to it, scroll right to it, span it. Boom, you've got it. Everything you need to know, social media links, all sorts of stuff. WrestlingPreviewGuide.com. Use promo code PACK, P-A-C-K. Of course, you're listening to Pack Mentality Pop-Ins podcast. You know how to spell PACK. Hashtag Pack Mentality. So use the promo code PACK. And just to let you know, I'm curious on who's going to win, because I know that Brian has made some points talking about other schools within the podcast world that have shows. They also have promo codes too. I'm curious which fan base is the most voracious when it comes to consuming educational content. Is it my friends down in Raleigh? Let's find out. So that being said, WrestlingPreviewGuide.com. Offer code PACK, save $5. This thing retails for $19.99. You get it for $14.99. It will just change the way you consume your content with the NCAA championships. I stand by it. It is one of the great things that I really just, I talk about how great it is because I actually know, I look at it from as a fan. I'm like, what do I want to see? What do I want to be able to have quick access to? It's the stuff that I use for when I'm PA announcing at the national championships. It's the stuff that ESPN actually pays me to print them up, to go, hey, here is for your Matt Side broadcast. Here's what we've got in the production truck. You notice why there's a lot less mistakes on the broadcasts as of late? I'm going to take a little bit of credit for that. So you can take credit for that great knowledge and impress your friends. Again, WrestlingPreviewGuide.com. And Brian doesn't know how long this promo is going to last because I'm interrupting his show. But now it's Jamel Morris time here on the Pack Mentality Pop-Ins podcast.
Now joining us on the Pack Mentality Pop-Ins podcast, NC State starter at 141 pounds, redshirt senior Jamel Morris. Jamel, glad we could catch up with you after practice. You're gearing up for your final home duel this weekend.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. My family's coming up to watch me in my last home duel with me, so it's really exciting. I'm ready to put on the show.
was going to say, you're from Florida. Does your family make it up a lot?
Not really. My mom works a lot, but my dad's retired now, so he likes to make the drive up here sometimes.
Okay. Well, hopefully it'll be a great environment hosting Pitt. Another big ACC dual season for you.
Yeah.
Is it stepped up a level for you? Are they a little more exciting now?
They're more exciting. I'm kind of like, they have me like seated like low in the ACC, so I'm like looking at it as like, this is my hit list and this is what I have to take out. So it's pretty exciting. It's like, it's been a long process get to where I am right now. So I'm ready to show everyone what I'm made of and who I am.
And it's a really unique situation with the NC State wrestling team over the last few seasons, 2 sets of twins. In our podcast a few weeks ago, we chatted with Thomas Bullard, and now we have one half of the Morris twins, Jamel, and 2 sets of twins, but kind of 2 different circumstances this season for the Bullards and the Morrises. Bullards are at different weight classes. They're 1 weight apart, but NC State started the season with both Morris twins at the same weight. And Jamel, looking back at the preseason, was it hard having both you and Jamal at 141 for your final seasons, competing for one spot?
Yeah, it's like bittersweet because like, you know, you want to be like on the mat side by side with them and like, but like we kind of saw this coming a little bit. It's like eventually you might have to go wrestle off each other. And so like we talked in the beginning of the year, like, just no hard feelings, whoever wins and stuff like that.
In the wrestle off, was there trash talking?
No. I told him that this one didn't count because I had to make weight the next day. So I was like, if you win, it doesn't really count.
Growing up, did you guys wrestle against each other in practice or were you guys separated?
We wrestled, so what's funny is, when we first started wrestling, it was, middle school and we had to wrestle off for one of the spots and we didn't know how to wrestle at all. It's like our first practice is like, whoever wins takes the spot. I'm like, all right, they said just try to pin him or something. So I ended up winning that match. So like, it was nice, but like, we just go back and forth and then we wrestle at tournaments and wrestle in practice. We're so competitive. So we end up like fighting each other, getting angry. Our dad just like, you know what, just don't wrestle each other anymore or just forfeit.
I was going to say, how competitive were you and Jamal growing up, both on and off the mat?
Pretty competitive. We always wanted to like beat each other. And so like kind of like we knew that like, all right, every time he gets better, I get better. So we just kept pushing each other to get better. And so I'm like, we always make fun, like, oh, I'm better than you. Like, nah, I'm going to do this better than you. And now we make jokes before matches. So like, oh, I'm going to get this tech fall. I'm going to get this pin. So I'm like, all right. And so I'm going to do that now.
When was the last time there was a tense moment between you two?
What do you mean by tense?
An argument or some hurt feelings.
We share a car, so we usually like fight over the cars.
But Thomas Bullard told us his parents used the Keller scheme to tell them apart. Thomas was always in red and Daniel was blue. How did people tell you and your brother apart growing up?
It's kind of hard. So, our high school, we had, matching uniforms. So we pretty much wore the same thing every day, but Jamal has like, more scratches on my face. So he just like Scarface. So like he has, or the Black Harry Potter because he had like a scar on his forehead. And so like, or my mom, like, she usually gets the part, like knows the part most of the time, but then like, she'd be like, Jamal, come over here and just like say both our names at the same time.
I was just going to say, any interesting stories behind your names? Having twins named Jamel and Jamal is very confusing.
Every time I meet a new person, they're like, do your mom like hate your parents hate you or something like that? I'm like, nah, it's a good conversation starter. And then I'd be like, oh, you don't want to know our middle names. Our middle names like Devin and Devon. So it's still like one letter apart. And then I remember one time, my parents told a story of how, when we were babies, had like wristbands with our names on it, and then they took off the wristbands and they couldn't figure out which one was which.
Now the Bullards called you and your brother out. They kind of said you guys pull the switch a lot more than the Bullards.
Yeah.
Okay. So you agree with that?
Yeah. It's fun to mess with people.
Okay. Well, not everybody, but you know. How about stepping off the mat? How are you and your brother different?
I like to talk to random people more often, but,
so you're saying you're the friendlier one?
I'm the friendlier one, yeah.
How about, when you two were in high school, were you guys a package deal for colleges or how did that come about?
Yeah, my dad said we should have been, we're probably going to be a package deal because it's easier for them, like money wise and traveling wise and stuff like that. And then it's like you have like a friend with you going to college, so you're not like alone going to a different place.
You guys still roommates?
Yeah.
I was going to say, I was hoping there was no separation there, but now Jamel started the season in the starting spot, but now you've taken over and you've been gone 5-0 in the duels at 141. A difficult kind of circumstances to be in, competing against your brother, but finishing up the regular season, heading into the postseason. This is one heck of an opportunity for yourself.
Yeah.
Would you say? And how much are you looking forward to just your chance to be out here now and performing in your last season?
Yeah, when he was starting, I was like, every time I watch him wrestle, I'm like, I wish I was out there. I wish I was out there competing and stuff like that. And then when I got the opportunity to do so, I'm like, all right, I got to take advantage of this and just have fun with it. My dad always says, like, you don't have to like be serious all the time when you're wrestling. Just have fun, go out there and try to score points. So that's what I've been doing. I've been keeping that mentality of just having fun. I've been listening to music and just jamming out in the middle of the match sometimes. Just like, I just got to put up points and just do what I've been doing all year.
You seem to enjoy getting a tilt on guys.
Yeah.
Would you rather take down a guy or get a near fall?
I like tilts better, but I used to throw a lot, but I got away from that because I don't know, I kind of do like, if I'm on my feet a lot, then yeah, I'll try to throw you, but if I'm on top, I'm definitely trying to tilt you up and trying to attack you fast as possible.
You had a big win up at UVA. You got that first takedown within the first 5 seconds. You said you're going to work on your neutral game a lot more. How much confidence did that get, getting that early takedown?
It was really nice. I thought since he beat me over the summer by like a point or whatever, he'd be a lot better. But then I was like, I think at the first takedown, just like, all right, this is going to be a piece of cake pretty much. So I'm like, I gained confidence and like, all right, now I know, like, if I had in my head, I'm not getting taken down, I can take anyone down whenever I want at my will, then that's what I'm going to do.
Was that a double you took him down with that first?
Yeah, it was a double.
Is that your go-to or just whatever the situation goes?
I usually like to do Russians to like upper body, but I usually try to get my Russians and then people fight off it and then a double just right there.
And we use the hashtag pack mentality a lot around here. I think your situation's a prime example of what pack mentality means. You've been in the program now for 5 years and you've had to be patient, wait your turn, but now you're in the starting lineup. How did you stay focused and prepare for this year's situation?
It's been hard. My dad always like, whenever I have like issues like wrestling or like mental stuff, I talk to my dad. He's like, just be patient, wait your time, just keep trying to get better and keep improving. So that's like my mentality going to practice. And just like, I just remember like, every time I lose or every time I don't win a match the way I want to do, just remember that feeling in practice and try to push myself and just be patient and wait for my time to shine.
And as I mentioned, you've won the last 5 duels for the pack at 141 and very impressive stat. You've outscored those foes 53-3 and you had a pin. This is your 3rd different weight class here at NC State. You also set a time at 125 and 133. Is 141 more comfortable, less of a weight cut, or just the situation said you get older, you gain a little more weight?
I think I was heavier when I went down to 125, but it's 141's actually pretty comfortable and easy for me to like make weight. Like once I like start eating healthier, the weight just fall off, so I kind of walk around like 5 over, 4 over.
Was it true at Virginia? You woke up the morning right at weight. You didn't even have to cut weight.
Yeah, Pat was like, "You got to eat more food." I'm like, "All right." I kept eating, and I'm like, "I can't eat anymore."
And everything kind of comes full circle here. This weekend against Pitt, you'll have your final home duel of the season. You're one of the seniors we're going to be honoring before the match. What kind of emotions will you have competing in Reynolds one last time as a member of the Wolfpack?
It's gonna be great. I love the atmosphere so much. I remember like 5 years ago, there's like barely people in the stands, but then now it's like always packed. It's loud. I love it, and it's gonna be a great feeling for me. Just like leaving everything off on the mat and just going out there and doing my best.
And just like yourself, your opponent from Pitt has also gone up a couple of weight classes. LJ Bentley is a former NCAA qualifier at 125, but now in his final season, he's also up at 141. You're still looking to build your resume for the NCAAs. What must you do to come away with a win in this matchup?
Just dominate on my feet. I know he moves around a lot, so once I take him down, just go to work on top like I usually do.
When are people going to start not choosing down against you?
They have no choice. So if I take them down, I'm gonna still be on top. They try that, but I'm just like, all right, I'm still gonna take you down. So I'm ending up on top no matter what.
I was saying, practice, are you focusing now, taking down guys a little bit more? That's the point that you're trying to get here for the end of the season?
Yeah, I'm kind of like working more on my feet, move my feet more with conditioning and my legs. And then I'm kind of like practicing like, oh, when a guy doesn't give you a wrist, what am I going to do now?
Get you out of this, talk a little school. You're majoring in science, tech, and society. I'm sure a ton of people ask you this all the time. What exactly is that major, and what are you hoping it leads you to post-college?
So my specialty in that major is like environmental studies. So I'm gonna probably do something with environmental inspector or like consultant, stuff like that. So one of my brothers kind of does something similar to that, and then I'm gonna go probably coach wrestling on part-time too.
You said one of your brothers. How many brothers and sisters you have?
I have, I think, 6 or 7. 2 half brothers, 1 half sister, and then 4 brothers from my mom.
Okay. Only twins?
I'm only twins. Okay. Yeah, I'm the youngest though.
So how much younger are you than Jamel?
A couple minutes.
So he let you know about that? Or?
Yeah, but I tell him, just because it's a couple minutes, still can't beat me.
Jamel, it's great to have you on the podcast. Good luck to you the rest of the season. We're all looking forward to seeing how you perform here and then leading up to ACCs and NCAAs.
Thanks for having me.
I want to thank everybody for listening today. This is your Pack Mentality Pop-Ins podcast covering all things NC State wrestling. Until next time, Wolfpack wrestling fans, go Pack.
The Pack Mentality Pop-Ins podcast is produced by the Mat Talk Podcast Network. For more wrestling podcasts, go to MatTalkOnline.com.